Right. There we go. Okay. That sounds like it has volume now. Like a lot of volume. There we go. Okay. That sounds like it has. All right. So, like a lot of volume. Let me mute this, and we're good. All right. Hola, Maling. Welcome to the live. Let me see if I can lower this thing. Yeah, the feedback is crazy. What can I do? Okay, here we go. All right. All right. There's still feedback. Learning curves. So yeah, my biggest fear was to make mistakes, but those happen every day. And if I was afraid to make mistakes, well, if I would let the fear of making mistakes stop me, I wouldn't do anything ever. So I just go in head first. Whoops, that was not supposed to happen. And all the mistakes are happening now. All right, let's see, where were we? Hello, perfect. Okay, so no feedback. And Macho, welcome to the live. Jaja, can you check real quick to see if the sound is back on YouTube? If it's let me see if it's. Can you check real quick? Oh, yeah. See if, okay, that answers my question. Thank you, Jaja. All right, so where were we? So again, today we're talking courage. Welcome to Drawing and Talking. We're Artclstudios. This is a live stream where we talk and draw. Well, I mostly draw, and you guys talk to me, and I talk to you. All right, welcome to those joining, and thank you again for the quick feedback. And I should always ask before I start, but tomorrow will be the next day. Every day there's a new problem that I learn about. All right, so last summer I learned how to skateboard, got rid of that fear, and I told myself that once I learn how to do that, I'm going to be able to learn anything I want to learn and do anything I want to do. And, proving to myself that I can do that opened up a whole new door. Hey, Louis, welcome to the live. And I said I was going to draw a little girl, but I'll draw her next because this little girl may be too muscular for this pose. So we're talking courage, and Double O Mindblow shared that one of his fears was to rap, but he has gotten back to it, and he's been doing an amazing job at it. By the way, guys, to those, this might be too close. To those who are, into the arts and love making, maybe music is your thing, or drawing, or writing, or telling stories, any creative field, dare yourself to go to the next level, go from just having the idea to getting physical things, like getting something on paper, getting something on a screen, putting something on your phone, and then sharing it with the world, because sometimes our fear of criticism will stop us from sharing. Hey Jose, welcome to the live. This looks different than the YouTube live. Oh yeah, so the YouTube live has just this part without the screen and all that stuff. Yeah. So this is what the audio is good. Awesome. Thank you. And by the way, guys, those who are coming in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. These lives, I've been doing them, and this is also a test for me, to see if I can pull an all week live. I missed on Tuesday, but these are testaments that I'm doing for myself, to prove that I can do something and hold my hold my ground and come in, like with my word. Series Sac Bay, peace, brother. I'm signing off, but one love and have fun. Thank you for coming through, man. I really appreciate your time in. We'll talk soon. But yeah, so these lives, I've been doing them for the sake of putting something out and sharing while creating, because this was my most fearful times. Like this right here that you're seeing on the screen was my biggest fear. The process is very ugly sometimes. When you're learning something new, or when you're starting something, the process could be more scary than the work. Getting started is more scary than actually sharing it with anybody. Picking up the pencil. Hey Mars, welcome. Yeah, so, and I'm just here just exploring ideas. All right, so if anyone wants to jump on any time, you're welcome to jump in on the screen and share a memory or a story. Amana Dansler, welcome to the live. Double O Mind Blue says depends on passion. Yeah, so sometimes, yeah, that's very true. If your passion is stronger than your fear, then that is a plus, and I think that should be the goal. You should always have more passion than fear. Alrighty. Alright, so I think I'm gonna move on to, let me just look at an image of a little girl here showing her muscles, because that's another thing that I don't do. I don't draw a lot of females, and I have one or two female characters that I've made for like stories, but I don't usually draw women, which is because I grew up watching all these action cartoons and movies, but it's good to dare, to challenge yourself to do other things. Amina, welcome. Yeah, I'm so bad at remembering people's names with their Instagram. Thank you for joining. So again, we're talking courage. The courage to be you, the courage to stand out. Because sometimes when you stand out, you become a target. But when you stand out, you can also achieve your greatness, And that was something that in high school, I was afraid to stand out, because one time I got a high grade on a test, and somebody in the class got a low grade, and then after that they wanted to copy off of me, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this. So long story short, I started doing bad in the class because I didn't want the attention. I didn't want favoritism from the teacher. I didn't want nobody to look at me. I didn't want to be called teacher's pet or whatever. And I decided to just get bad grades because the fear of standing out was bigger than the fear of getting good grades. And you know, in that case, with the knowledge I have now, I would have asked the person if they needed help, instead of joining them, because sometimes we lose when we get influenced. We lose ourselves when we get influenced by someone that might not be in a good place. Sometimes we rather go back than bring them forward. And that's why I'm here live, because I want to help. I want to provide anything that I can do, whether it is a word of wisdom or a word of encouragement. That's what I'm here to do. In that time, again, if I could go back in time, I would offer to stay after school and see if I can teach something or we can learn something, because again, the teacher does as much learning as the student, whether it is how will I teach this person, and if there's a different method for each person. But yeah, thank you for joining. And yeah, so being courageous is a great asset, It's a great asset for any human being that just wants to do better, But very often we hear of the stories of the person that was too courageous and their life didn't end well. And those are the ones that we get always told about. But there are a lot of people who are courageous and they have great, amazing stories. And somebody said that they rather live a short life full of happiness than a long life full of sadness. And that would happen when you don't follow your heart. If the fear holds you back, you will not be achieving your goals. So let's see who we got live. Lupo Macho. If you guys can share something that you guys once feared, but now you conquered. Like what was one thing that you were afraid before? And Lewis too. Double Mind Blow. He shared that his fear was to rap, but he's back at it. And how about a medium? One where nothing happens. One where nothing happens could be great if you don't want to achieve anything, and that's great too. But I know we all have passions and dreams, and sometimes not doing anything at all, it's sometimes more harmful to a human being sometimes. And imagine if your heart decides one day to say, you know what, I don't want to pump anymore. Well, at least for 2 days. You will die. And as human beings, I have a very big belief that the moment you feel your best is when you become useful. When you become useful, whether it is to yourself, family, or somebody that you know, a peer, a client, a friend. And, no one will value you until you value yourself. And that's also another scary thing, to say, oh, I'm valuable. Like, you tell yourself first, like, I'm a valuable human being. Edabiel, welcome to the live, man. We're talking courage here. But yeah, so if you don't value yourself, no one will. If if you can't pinpoint what you're good at, it's hard for someone to give you something to be good at, you know. And although we do have that a lot, that someone will come and say, hey, you can come and do this for me right now. And that also helps, you know. If you don't have a passion at the moment, if someone can find it in you, you know, that's a great thing. Because sometimes, there's many times that I don't believe in myself, you know. I have a client that has a big massive project, and I don't think I can do it. You know, I go in there at first and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Then I do the first line and everything looks weird. The client comes back and says, well, this doesn't look like what I wanted. Can you make it look like this? And they show me something that's way up here. And I'm like, if you think I could do it, then maybe I can, you know. And I've had that happen, and I appreciate those people. Want to give a shout out to Made by Jones, or Shot by Jones. Yeah, Jones. He's one of my clients that actually got me to believe in myself in those times that I didn't believe in myself, you know. So I appreciate. Welcome, Lizzie. El Montao 17, bienvenido. Vineta Mine, welcome to the live. We're talking courage with Artclstudios, drawing and talking. Thank you for joining today. Well, tonight. So yeah, sometimes you don't believe in yourself, and someone will come and say, I think you could do it. And if you have someone that says, I think you could do it, and I think you could do anything, that's even bigger, you know. So in the future, I wanna challenge myself to just do random challenges. Y el montaje, lo que dime, mi hermano, estamos hablando aquí de el valor, de cómo encontrar valor cuando nadie cree en ti o cuando tú no crees en ti. De redondearte de personas que son positivas, gente que quieren ayudarte o que tú quieres ayudarla, y así tú te das valor y te das, encuentras una pasión por qué vivir, encuentras una solución para seguir adelante. Y a veces es difícil porque no siempre tenemos las mejores condiciones, pero el creer es poder. Yeah, so I realized that I have to speak in both languages because I have people coming from different parts of the country or the world, and specifically the Dominican Republic, where I'm from, and I have to be bilingual. Ya estamos, bueno, me incluyo, buen tema. Gracias. Welcome, Amira.pg. That's my wife. She's upstairs. Thank you for joining. So we're talking courage. And, you know, and especially in these times, I agree with certain people that say, I think it was Mother Teresa that said, don't call me when you're against something. Call me when you're for something. So it's a little trick in psychology that we decide sometimes to fight against something instead of fighting for something. And you might say, like, what's the difference? It's still, you're doing something. But the psychology behind the words, you know, you got to be very careful. Well, at least I'm very careful when it comes to words and the way that we do things, right? So going for something without negating, it makes the goal a little clearer. When you say, I want to drink some water right now, I'll drink some water or tea. It's easier to see what you want to do. But when you say, I don't want to drink juice, it becomes confusing. Even as I was saying the example, I was like, huh? But yeah, so if you say the things, and it takes longer too to figure out what it is that you're fighting for, what it is that you want to do. When you say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And that's also a method, you know, that is also a method. Because I heard that I think a Hindu Buddhist, he says, we only know the things that God is not. You know, and that's one way of them identifying God, you know. And yeah, that's Google that, because I am not 100% sure what that means. But it sounds like a good cancellation system, you know. Sometimes knowing what you don't want can lead you to the things you want. But also, if you know what you want, it will save you a lot of time. In short, pretty much that's what it means. It will save you a lot of time when you know what you want. If you go around saying, this I like, you could do that. But if you say, this I don't like, that I don't like, that I don't like, you're wasting energy in things that you don't like. Thank you again for joining. And thank you to Spotify, by the way, for having free copyright music that I can just jam and not get a strike. All right, so let's go with Double O Mind Blow's idea of beating fear from rap. What are some of the goals that you want to achieve, or some of the things that you want to do now that you have beaten the fear of making music again? And by the way, your music is really good. Let me see if I take the liberty here to find your music real quick, and let's play it if this thing works. And I guess not. All right, let's see. Rapper No Name. And yeah, so what I do in these lives, hey, I'll join the video chat soon. Awesome, yeah. Please join whenever you feel like you wanna. Give me 5. Gotcha. Whenever you have something that you want to talk about, this is a open forum pretty much. And thank you again, Double O Mind Blow, for bringing that up. The open forum thing. It's just a great place to come and talk about anything. Rapper No Name. And what I'm doing with my drawing is pretty much just narrating a story that doesn't have to have a beginning or an end, just going around. Let me see. So the life is just me sketching pretty much, and sharing something that I did on the train too. Like, I'll draw often on the train, and yeah, something that I did often, and just feel like there's something that could be gained. And practicing the drawing to me is something that let's see, there we go. Something that takes away fear and creates ideas. Out of 2 drawings that I've done in the live, I just grabbed one out of all those, and I'm starting to create pieces out of them. So this is a sort of a brainstorm session, and I've been enjoying it. Even though you can't see the results right away, they do come as time goes on. And here we go. All right, so because the song is on YouTube, it might there we go. So let's just hear it. This is all right. Let me know if everyone can hear the song. Rock it to it. Rapper no name.
Is my first dance song. What's up? Rock it to what? Here we go. Now here we are, here we at, girl, here we go again. Tell your friend how many incense. It's been said we burn sprouter than the county bars. Probably fit to hit the hardest hurricane and monsoons. We wash through to hop through this typhoon, my dukes. We gon' flood your iTunes to high noons. The sun sets on the west side, that's specified from NY. Do or die, can we get by? And she get weird like hentai. Well, why did I make that distinction? An inclination of my impatience. This fakish, I'm playing. I get stupid.
I get lucid.
Get your juice in 2 steps correct. We get foolish, young and old. You're making dope or you're useless. Asses on the floor and let's do this. Now jump like I cracked you in the face with a bowl. What?
Rock.
What?
Let's
I don't
see.
have the equipment to scratch my voice like this, so I do it. Same verse.
Let's see. What am I drawing?
Miss me, swinging at me, pissy cause that chick wanna kiss me, give him the lips, G. I might wanna hit C. Ain't my fault your game be flimsy. You wanna beef over mincemeat, that's cringy. Tonight you hushing the vibe, I wanna swifty, get like
Rick, sit like
my instinct. Yep, I'm plenty, dressed like blessed be. Yes, please hold my plum, bitch, you punk bitch, while I be crushing you. BK slipper the Mickey D, shimmy gloving it. Got a hat for my lethal weapon, Danny gloving it. She clown thinking of.
And again, this is Double O Mind Blow here. Rapping.
My bad. I ain't trying to diss, cabrón. I won't stop for most slots and these beats rhyme. I'ma say, just take it away.
And we'll be hearing from him soon to speak about his experience of overcoming a fear. And I'm sure we go through things like that every day.
Hey, McFly, knock on your head. Is anybody home? I'm in my zone, man.
Yeah.
Pull up another DeLorean. That flux capacitor. I'm trying to go back time so I could be the definitive ass ambassador. What? You want to hear a fun fact? You rocked it to it like 64 times on this track. I counted. Yeah, I did. I ain't got no life. That's what I do at night. Rock it to it.
Thank you for providing. The music is fire up, bro. Yeah, man, and we're gonna hear from the artist in a couple of minutes. So I appreciate him coming in and people giving compliments. That's what's up. And I told him that he sent me a verse once. He sent me just a beat with no. He sent me his verse with no beat, and I was like, man, this shit is fire. So when he did this, I was like, yeah, no, you gotta keep doing this, cause one is for you first, you know, and then 2, you're bringing joy to people, you know, telling stories. We have a lot of storytellers. Lo que estaba diciendo es que vamos a ir del cantante, del rapero que hizo esa canción en unos segundos. Él va a estar en vivo con nosotros. Y nada, que él me había mandado una canción anteriormente. Y yo lo escuché y le dije, no, tú tienes que seguir cantando, tienes que seguir rapeando. Porque cuando tú tienes un talento y tú lo exploras, tú te das cuenta de qué tanto te hace feliz y qué tanto tú haces feliz a la otra persona. And we're here to make people happy. We're here to have a good time and make sure that the good time lasts for as long as we can. So I'm gonna be drawing people rapping for a second. I'm just gonna see if I can draw this real quick. All right, we got the invite. ¿Cuándo llegan los? Vete para el live de Don Miguelo, que aquí no llegan eso. Carne, para donde Miguelo se va. Javier, welcome Elliot, welcome Melanie, welcome to the live. So today we're talking courage, and right now we're requesting Double O Mind Blow to join us and speak a little bit about his musical career and how he overcame a fear. So thank you for joining us. Hey, what's up? Oh, hold on. I can't hear you. Give me 1 second here. I don't know. It's my speaker. I need to turn it on because last time I was having conversations and they couldn't be heard on the other side. All right.
It was good. You hear me now?
Yep. Awesome. And if anyone on YouTube can let me know if you can hear the combo, I'll be peeking in.
It was good.
And hello, Hansiel. Nice job you're doing. Thank you, Tia. Kids are saying hi to you. Saludos. From my aunt from DR saying hi on YouTube. And that was one of my goals, you know. Gracias por entrar al live. Yo estoy haciendo esto todos los días. Por una semana ya. Voy a seguir haciéndolo hasta que me canse. I'm sorry, Double O Mambo. Just give me 1 second. And one reason that I want us to keep doing videos is to get updates on people and for people to know where I'm at in life, you know. And this is a way to tell people what's up. So thank you again, and welcome to Drawing and Talking. Thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about you. Who are you, and what are you? What was something that you overcame?
About me, there ain't much to say about me, man. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
You're just a kid from Brooklyn.
Yeah. But I guess what I overcame, because this is the topic of tonight's discussion. Hold on, I guess what I overcame was like the fear like rapping and stuff like that, because I always loved music and I always loved like talking and, well, not talking, but like, I always loved just music in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never had the stones to pursue it.
You never had that what?
The stones.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to stay PG-13.
I mean, this is not. They asked me in the beginning of the live on YouTube, is it a kids show? And I was like, nope. So feel free to speak however you want. Gotcha. I appreciate that though. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead.
Yeah, but because I always loved music as a kid, but like I never believed in myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was always into like hip hop, like since I was like 9, and that's because I saw Eminem. That's when he first came out, and I like music in general, like any type of music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, rock, wave, whatever. If it sounds good, I like it. But like hip hop is the main thing for me because it resonated with me. Like I grew up listening to like bachata, merengue. My father used to put that on a lot, and then he put on 80s music. But a lot of stuff it wasn't resonated with me because it's like I couldn't really understand it because it's like I speak Spanish, but I'm not fluent.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of it, you know, they're talking about love and all that stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm not seeing love out here. I'm seeing like dudes like doing drugs and
Gotcha.
I'm seeing people get shot. I'm seeing stuff. I'm seeing hard shit. Like, how can I relate to that?
Right. So a lot of the music that your father was listening to in the beginning was a lot of love stuff, and that wasn't something that you were seeing. So what did you do about that? Like, how did you go from listening to that to
hip hop?
Yeah, to hip hop.
Well, I didn't listen to real like hip hop until like I was 8 years old. I heard like a few songs, but I wasn't into it because like I was a little kid. I was into like pop stuff. Like at the time it was like the late 90s. So it was like all that Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, you know, all of that stuff I used to listen to
Gotcha.
as a kid.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's basically it. But like I said, I got into hip hop. I remember Biggie, but like I remember when he died, they put his music all over the place and stuff. I
Mm.
remember seeing Tupac on TV. That was around the time he died as well. And I
Mm.
didn't listen to them like until like after like I turned into like a teenager. I started listening to them too. So
Okay. And now,
yeah, but
so you went from, because this song that I just played is a very upbeat song and it's more a dance, like a party
okay.
song. What made you go from, going from a hardcore, storytelling? Because some of your stuff is very it's very philosophical and it's very deep, and then you went with this route, a little more lightheartedness to the song. Like, what made you go into that route? Which it's fun, and there's nothing wrong with doing both. But what was your motive to doing this type of music?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I wasn't here for the last 5, 10 minutes. Like I put my phone down, so I didn't know that you played. Like, what song you played? Rocket.
Rocket to it, yeah.
Yeah, it was just for being funny. You know, it's not meant to be taken serious. Like I have a sense of humor, and my sense of humor is like really dark.
Mm.
But you know, I just felt like doing a funny thing. Like my cousin made the beat. My cousin Ronnie McFly, and why check him out. He made the beat, and then he was like, "Yo, this is a free beat for anybody who wants to mess with it." And then what he had a Rick and Morty playing in the back while the beat played, and I'm like,
Mm.
"This is not a serious song. I know it can't be. It's like a classic '90s track. So let me be an ass clown, you know."
Man, and it
So
worked
yeah,
out. Who edited the video, by the way? Because that video, it's like
I did.
very, huh?
I did.
You did. Nice. Yeah. So you are a rapper,
And
but
I
you
did
also
videos as well.
you're a producer as well, huh?
I mean, I sent you that video when I made the mods for Resident Evil 2 with
Oh
Steve
yeah,
Urkel.
Man. So you have a lot of talent, and it's sometimes tough, right? When you're very talented to focus on one thing. But I always think that you can grab one thing from this world and put it on this world. So I saw that in that video. So can you explain what that video was so that anyone's watching and wants to learn what else you do besides rap?
Which video you talking about?
The video you sent me about the modifying a video game.
Oh yeah, well basically I just made like cosmetic skins. Like if you ever played like Call of Duty, like when you rank up, they give you like different skins for the guns and stuff, right?
Mm.
I don't know if you played Call of Duty like online before, but
Yeah, I played.
yeah. So like when you rank up, they give you different skins for the guns. But I kind of did that with Resident Evil 2, the one that came out last year.
Uh-huh.
I made like customized skins, guns for like cosmetics, so it's
Oh,
like it has designs on them.
I
So I
think
made
I,
it.
I think I can show it real quick. I think I have you on the screen right here. On the, let me see. I have there we go. So I'm gonna show it on the screen
You
here.
showing the Steve Urkel.
There you go. Yeah, you did a Steve Urkel, and that was epic, man. Like that, I was blown away. And especially what blew me away was when when they played, when the video played, I was like, nah, this can't be serious. So this is I
Yeah.
was damn, I can't blow it up.
I
Let's see.
mean, my page is
Oh
I think
yeah,
I gave you the link to my page.
is the link right here in your bio, or is this
No, it's in the chat, like the chat that you was on.
okay? Let's
Yeah,
see.
you was on the chat. Like I sent you the link through the chat. Like if you scroll up, you'll find it. It says Nexus mods and stuff.
Let's see. Oh, I think I zoomed in a little bit. But yeah, so you have multiple talents, right? So how do you go about dividing your time into what you do and
Well, the rapping thing, I slowed down a lot because like 2 years ago, bad stuff happened. A lot of bad stuff happened to me, but like 2 years ago, like health-wise, so like but I've been rapping since I was like, I guess I could say, since I was a little kid, I've been making like corny little songs and stuff like that, and I was like influenced with like video games. Because I
Gotcha.
used to play like Sega Genesis, and I used to like my corny stuff. I used to sing along to the songs playing in the games and stuff. Because I was an oddball, I was a cornball back then.
You should
So
do live streams too, like if that's something that you may be into. So these are some of your stuff. These are some of your mods,
yeah,
right?
some of the guns.
Nice. And this is for what game specifically?
Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. All right. So here we see, and it's so. Let's say somebody. How did you learn about this by yourself? You didn't go to school for this. How did you learn about this?
YouTube.
YouTube. Wow. So would you say YouTube has been your school for some things?
No, for a lot of things, dude. Since I was a teenager, I would learn I would find out about like new music, and just things that I've never seen and things that I forgot about in time and stuff, but stuff that I was interested in.
Wow.
Like, I like YouTube a lot. I just hate the way it went, like with all these rules and stuff.
The algorithm and stuff.
Susan Wojcinski, she messed it up. YouTube back then was the best. Now I call it YouTube.
Well, it's the way of controlling things, like things. I don't know. It could be a topic for another time, but it slowed down certain things in order for other things to go on, right? But yeah, no, man, this is dope to see.
I didn't make the picture. The picture, I just found it on Google, but I just put everything together.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Would you say that you can do this for, like, let's say somebody's making a video game and they want to create customized stuff? Would you be willing to be somebody that gets hired to work for a video game, let's say?
I mean, this is beginning. Like I have never done anything like this before.
But you know how to solve problems, maybe, right?
Solve problems?
Solve problems in the sense of like you wanted to do something, which was the mod, and you figure it out.
I mean, because the instructions were there.
There we go. Yeah. So that's good, man. That's what I'm saying. So there's times too that I take jobs that I think I know what I'm gonna be doing, and then midway I come and I'm like, how do I solve this? Like anytime I take a job, I'll get into trouble. Let's say for lack of better words, I'll get into trouble because I won't know how to solve certain things, or I get into something that I have no idea how to continue, and then I go into YouTube and I find solutions for how to solve or how to do something,
Yeah, I guess because I run into like a lot of problems, like a lot of walls and stuff when doing stuff, and it's not just making those mods, because I spend a lot of hours making those, like learning and stuff, but it's like in general, like if there was a problem with a certain device I had, like I would go to YouTube or Google.
Right.
And then like sometimes most of the times they'll have the solution there.
Exactly.
It's not like I solve them right on my own self.
Right.
I'll be like a MacGyver.
Yeah, no, and hey, if we can always do things on our own, but if there's a helping hand there, it will save a lot of time. Because again, time is something that we can't control, but we can't.
I wish I could control time.
But we can alleviate. When you can find a solution to a problem faster than you would on your own, you're controlling time.
That's the beauty of today. Like technology and the internet is like more prevalent in our society. It's both good and bad. So. Right. Like everything's at your fingertips. That's good, but then again, it's like there's an over reliance on it.
Yeah, and it's something that like everything, right? There's positive and negative in everything. And because at one point I was like, why would I be going online? Why would I do this that I'm doing right now? There's so many people already doing it, and how am I contributing? And then I would think, oh, the internet is an evil place where people just go and waste time. But it's all a tool. Everything that we're giving is a tool, and it's all about matter of like using it in whatever way you want to. Because there is the freedom to do whatever you want is still there. We have freedom of choice, but it's up to you what you do with your time. How do you what do you want to do? Where do you see yourself in a couple of years and things like that? So I decided to take time into it and just share with people.
I mean, that's good. That's utilizing the web for good and stuff like that. Because I've seen the web get utilized for bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
but we can't blame the tool. It's like if I give you a hammer to build a house and then you end up breaking the house.
I like to say the same thing with guns and stuff like that. Like, because I have my own, like, I'm for guns, but I'm just for a better regulation of them. So, but it's like, you take away the gun from the person, from the cycle, all right, fine, you took away the gun, but then they grab a knife.
Yeah.
You're gonna have you that on knives?
Right, no, and anything could be a weapon or a tool. Like, anything could be, used for good or evil.
Yeah.
But that's life, and that's a beauty. There's beauty in both, There's beauty in both things, because without one, the other one wouldn't exist. So we just have to, bear with the good and the bad.
No, I think the world was better before the internet.
The world was better without the internet?
No, it wasn't better, but I said my life was better, a little better.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's like, I don't know, man. It's like everything is like online, and like you interact online. So
Yeah.
you meet somebody face to face. And me personally, I'm kind of introverted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like much of a people person, but it's like when you get a person like me who notices this stuff, then you know there's something wrong with society. So but that's what it is.
Yeah, no, and it's true. Like life was when life was simple. People were happier. In some ways.
I don't know if life is ever simple.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because I think what it is like people like, oh, this.
Oh, the live ended. We'll be going live again. I didn't look at the time. There we go. All right. So we're going back live, and he was about to go into a good point. Welcome back to the live on Instagram. So we're talking courage. Double O mind blow. I'll call you. Give me one moment. Sorry, you were about to go into a really good point. And thank you for those that came in and that are tuning in on YouTube as well. And for those who would watch this later, thank you for joining. All right, we're joining again. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I didn't realize that the thing was. Yep, you're good. So you were about to say that you don't know if life was ever simple.
I don't think so, because like if you think about it, there's different problems each decade. Like in the 70s they had Vietnam, they had the gas shortage. And then in the 80s they had the crack epidemic and the recession, economics. In the 90s, the Gulf War in the beginning, racial tension, a lot of it. Freaking boy bands. In the 2000s, it was like terror alert arms. That was the theme of the decade. Like paranoia, terrorists and stuff because of 9/11.
Right.
And now this last decade, 2010s was like, all right, everybody became relaxed, but everybody became like sensitive and shit. And now this decade, just I think is gonna be defined by biological warfare. If anything.
Wow, that was a nice resume of like how life has been since. That was pretty good, man.
50 years.
50 years in a matter of seconds. Man, that was cool.
I'm like the lyrical time wanderer and shit.
Now I can see why you decided to do rap, why you decided to tell stories through the words.
I mean, rap for me is like, it's not rap, it's music in general for me, because it's like, I like different genres too. Like, I like a few bands in here. Like, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. I'm a fan of Prince. I'm wearing a Purple Rain shirt.
No way, let me see. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the shirt I always put on, like when I'm like on a video chat. I don't know why. That's the first one I find.
That's a designated shirt. That's what's up.
That's the first one I find.
Nice.
Yeah, wait, hold up. Hold up. I'll be back.
All right. So that was Double O Mind Blow, rapper No Name. Look him up on Instagram as Double O Mind Blow, and he's on YouTube as rapper No Name. Spending some time here talking about courage, and in difficult times, that's what we need. We need to be courageous. When there will be always something I see explained in a matter of seconds. There will always be things that won't go accordingly to your plans, but we can't panic. That's the time to plan, to think, and then act. Because if you just act out of fear, you'll be making maybe more mistakes. Not saying that you will, but you might make more mistakes if you act out of fear. Sometimes that's what's needed. You need a little fear to push you forward. And that's my boy Hansel, Vision of Hansel. Shout out to him. He shared yesterday. El Canchanchan, welcome. My boy Hansel shared yesterday that life begins where fear ends, life begins. And that was deep. That was very true. When you look at fear in the face and you decide to go on forward, calculating your risk, by the way, calculate your risk and then take action. Blessings to you, Richard. Welcome to the live. Here we're talking courage with Artclstudios. What is the show again? It's called Drawing and Talking. We have Double O Mind Blow is back. He's back to share with us. He was in the middle of a sentence. All right. There we go.
Hey, what's up? I don't want to take too much time and shit. It's just that when it's story right now, I just came up because I just saw a big water bug.
You saw a big water bug?
Just crawling up the road. Just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, what? Let me call you back. And I just took time to kill it.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. And welcome to those coming in. Aneli, Angeli, and Richard says, Kanjan El says, when you step out of your comfort zone, you start leaving. You start levitating or growing, But go ahead. You were going to say something. I'm sorry, what was that?
I agree with what he said.
Yeah, man.
Just like I told you before, it's like I'm kind of like a little introverted, and like I keep myself to myself. But like once I step out of my comfort zone, I started practicing the rap and stuff, and I noticed that I put my mind to it, and I become obsessed with it, and then I excel at it at a little bit of a rate, like a fast rate and shit. Yeah, so that's what it is.
So when do you...
cousin here, Rosewood, damn.
Rosewood, Kenny, go
That's my cousin.
Oh, what's up, cousin? Welcome to the live.
My other cousin was here on earlier, Jaja.
Oh yeah. He joined last night too. We had a nice conversation going back and forth. And that's my cousin. Lynn is my cousin. Welcome to the live. The cousins are coming in.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Go ahead. And you were saying about like when you decided to join, go back into rap. What was it that gave you that push? You know, because you said you stopped for a little bit and then you went back and confronted it. Like, what was it that made you say, "Hey, I've had enough of running away from this or avoiding it"? What made you change?
What made me change? I stopped so many times, bro. Because, like I said, I've been doing this since I was like 17. It's just life stuff.
Right.
And there was like self-doubt, like in the middle of that.
Self-doubt. That's a big one.
Yeah, that was the first one. Second one was like I was in my early 20s and stuff, and I went to like the program for music and stuff finally after I graduated college. So it was like I went to college because they was like, "Oh, you gotta be realistic. You gotta find something. You know, this is your." And I'm like, "All right, let me do it." I was never into school, but I went to college. I got a degree and I excelled. I made the dean's list. I graduated with honors, and I did not give a damn. So, yeah.
Wow, congrats to you, man. That's big though, because again, when I went to school, I said sometimes I say to myself like, "Oh, I didn't learn anything in school," but I learned structure, and that's something that I'm very thankful for, and I gained confidence.
I didn't really learn structure in school, and I'm still working on that because it's like I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm like feral and shit, but I'm learning.
But you did that, man, and that's not easy. Not everyone does that, you know. Like you went through a route. What's up, Cuzzo? Welcome. But you went through a route that's, you know, sometimes it's really hard, and some people on the way to it, you know, stop. And sometimes once you stop, it's hard to get back on. But you went all the way through, so pat yourself in the back for that too, you know.
Well, the thing is, like right now. Like, all right, so I'm getting into the second time. Like, I went to the music program, and I let my head get big. And, like, after I graduated, after I finished everything, boom, reality. That took me for a ride. And then I tried to stop it. And then I was like, I can't do it, man. I really can't. I'm too restless, man. So from then, I just got back on and I was practicing harder and harder, and I was like, the main thing that happened to me when I was in my early 20s is that I choked on the mic. And I was mortified.
Wow, that's big. Huh?
Yeah, because I had a high expectation of me, and then when I choked on the mic, I was like, damn, man, I just wish that a truck would come careening and just
Damn.
take me.
Damn.
I was mad, embarrassed, bro, and I was mortified, and that was like when I was 23.
Wow.
So, but I went back, and then I started doing it harder, and then like one of my mentors was just like, "Yo, you could write just." And then like I had a job at the time. I was a vendor. You know, that job was cool. It didn't pay much, but I liked it. Everybody was on my ass. I did my work. They were fine with it. I could listen to music, so I started studying. Like every rapper, like that I knew of, like Common would be 1 week, Eminem would be the next, and Wu-Tang Clan, Jay-Z, Nas, B.O.B., Busta Rhymes, and then I'll listen to each album in ascending order twice.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, and if there was something I missed, I'll play it again.
Nice, but you
like
see,
album.
that's something very interesting there. So there's a big lesson right there to share, you know, which that's the whole thing, you know. You fall once, you get back two times, you know, and if you fall again, you get up again. And you know, you took the route of measuring the situation and then stepping back studying and coming back into it, which.
Yeah, I got better at it actually. I got better at writing. Like I'll be on the like you mentioned earlier in the stream that I was like, if you ever seen that scene in 8 Mile?
Yeah.
Where he's writing. He's on the bus and he's taking out a little notebook and writing. That was me.
Wow.
I was on the train. I was on the bus and I was writing, and I still have that little book with me.
That's good, man. That's good.
And this was like 5 years ago.
Those are you were putting in. That's part of your 10,000 hours. That's what they say. You know.
I don't see it like that. It's just the way I saw it is like I never really had anything I wanted to really be in my life. Like I didn't want to be an astronaut. I didn't want to be a doctor, a lawyer. And it's like I didn't care about any of that stuff. It's like I wanted to be like creative and like I love music and stuff.
And it's a great time for it too.
I mean, right now, like I stopped again because it's like with health issues, and then like my life became in disarray because of it.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I got back on because I was bored, but it's like, but I wanted to try it again to see if I still got it. So I'm not like. Obviously, I don't got a record contract, and that's all right.
Right, but then again, to me, it's freedom. You know, you have the freedom to do this today, that tomorrow. So you have the choice to do whatever you want.
I mean, it would be nice if I got money, obviously, but like that's not reality.
I mean, the thing is that they always say like you put in you. Let me see. Sometimes following your passion. Yeah, that's a lot of hair, man. That's what's up.
It's not my Dominican Puerto Rican.
I was listening to Ralph Smart earlier today, and he's a motivational speaker from YouTube. Talks a lot about how to manifest and how to achieve your goals and dreams. He says that sometimes he meets people and they have a lot of ideas of what they want to do, but he says that the biggest way to achieve your goals is by doing it. And doing it suggests because once you start doing it, one song or one drawing is something, but the work begins when life begins when the work ends, pretty much, and you have to constantly be working at it, and take your times to share too, because one thing that I didn't learn a lot about in school was marketing. As an artist, if you want to become an independent artist, you need like business savvy. You need to sell yourself. Exactly. You need to learn a little bit about business. Thankfully, I took one class my last semester that gave me some pointers on how to brand myself as an independent contractor, pretty much.
And that's what's up. I mean, because you work for yourself. And
yeah, but
I mean, I know it's not always easy, but you're not starving at least.
And I learned to make changes too in my life. Like I made a lot of changes in order to accommodate my way of living and to accommodate my passion. I give up on being outside and walking outside for a long time. I mean, right now it's not that bad because what we're going through, but we still need to see the sun. And when I was living in Brooklyn, I took a job that would require pretty much like 12, 14 hours a day of sitting in front of a computer, drawing, working, and I learned a lot in doing that job. Like it was a project, creating characters and things like that. But I got depressed because I didn't see the sun for a long time, and then I mapped out a little workout. A little schedule for myself to go work out in the morning in the park, and that helped me to see people walking by in front of me. That was a big relief for me, but I had to adjust to it, and it's the adjusting takes time.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as a person that likes to walk on a consistent basis, I walk for hundreds of blocks, and I've counted.
Wow.
Yeah, the working is good, you know. But no, but at least you have the courage, you know. Now you're independent, you're doing your thing. That takes a lot of courage because even in today's, even like you know, nothing's for certain.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
And what I could tell you because I understand this and I know you being a creative yourself in your own way, it is still art.
Right, and
Like
it's
personally, me when I started going to that music program back when I was like 22, I refused to call myself an artist
wow. Why?
because at that time I didn't have really much like you know how I have like these three raps that I recorded and I put out right now.
Say that again. When you have what?
You know like how you went on my YouTube channel and you played like my stupid little song.
That's a good song.
Yeah,
Give
no,
yourself
I'm
some
serious.
credit. Give yourself some credit, man.
I could have done it better.
Man.
Yeah, like I didn't have anything like that. I just had writings, and I
Mm.
was kind of secretive. And then I was like, I'm not an artist because like I was amongst other people that had stuff. Like they actually had songs and beats and stuff. And I just wrote, and I was like, I'm not an artist. I refuse to call myself an artist until I produce. If I have something, like not just one thing, but a couple of other things, and on a consistent basis, that's when I'll
Right.
call myself an artist. That's when I earned that title.
Mm.
And I
That's what's up.
remember having a conversation with like one of my classmates at that time. He was like from Arizona,
Mhm.
and then he was like older than us. And then he was just talking to me, and he's like, "Yo, dude, you're an artist." I'm like, "I'm not an artist." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't have anything. I don't call myself an artist." He's like, "You're an artist. Stop it."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Ben, I'm not an artist until I produce stuff like that. Then I've earned the right to call myself an artist."
And that's something that takes time, you know. Like I have spoken to a couple of people that they're artists, but they don't. It takes time to build that confidence to say I am, you know. Until there's a thing, you know. There's a step that happens between becoming somebody or well becoming something that you want to be and just damn, I'm so close to the mic. I see that thing just going red. Um, the process of saying of identifying yourself with what you do or your passion, it might be a little tough, you know, but I say that once you do something like you said consistently, that's when you will like accept what you are because you kind of have to prove to yourself first what that this is what you really want to do, and
Hmm.
and until you don't do that, you're not gonna feel confident. I mean, not confident. You're not gonna feel like you stepped in that place. And even if people are telling you like, oh, your stuff is good, and you're really you are this what we think you are. But again, the people will be the ones claiming they're heroes. You know, you can't self-proclaim yourself. Um, because it's like you can look at yourself in the mirror and tell you a million times, but if and that's great, but if people are not seeing it, you won't believe it.
Yeah, and it's not about also that, but it's like you know I would show my stuff to people and they'd be like, "Yeah, it's actually good," but then I would think that you know they're just trying to gas me up and stuff.
That's hard, man.
Yeah,
That's hard.
yeah. And then you run into people like, "Oh yeah, I'm an artist. What have you produced?" Because I ran into some women like that. Like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm a singer." I'm like, "Oh, are you a singer? You got some stuff?" No, I don't. You got a SoundCloud? Your SoundCloud is too ghetto. I'm like, "You
uh,
stupid?" I'm like, "Jay, you don't. You say you're a singer. You're an aspiring singer.
mm.
Doing something right now. 1, 2, 3, go."
Right.
They're like, "Oh, oh." I'm like, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, no, it's hard, you know, like stepping into that thing until it's being is one of the hardest things to do, right? Just being, um, and we don't get taught that. You don't get taught how to be. You know, you get told what to do, but
Yeah,
um,
courtesy of the generation that raised us.
say that again.
Courtesy of the generation that raised us, and they saying that we're lazy bums.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, but Yeah, so I just take I hold like creativity in the high regards and stuff like drawing, whether it's drawing, writing,
Mm.
um, making films. Video games is an art, and I've always seen that since I was a kid.
Right.
It's always been an art form. It's just that the older adults they're like, oh, that's just little kid stuff. It's a time waster. Oh, look at this now.
Yeah, I know the.
The stories and stuff like that is like, what the hell?
Mhm.
It's like it's like a movie. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like how
And
is
you're
this
playing,
possible?
and you're playing the main character, which is the best part. You know.
Yeah, you're just watching the story unfold.
Right.
Like I remember when I was a kid. Like the thing is, I like video games. I
Mm.
played them all my life as because I didn't have anything else growing up.
Mm.
And so, but I played a lot of them in my life, and I still play them today as a grown ass man. I just need more priorities.
I mean,
Um,
we grew up with those things that nowadays have become professions, and back then our parents were like, stop playing video games, you can't make money off of that.
Yeah, because like I remember hearing that from my parents too, and then and like not just my parents but like teachers, and then it's like, well, just give it 15 years. There's a guy named PewDiePie.
Oh yeah, I heard him.
Over 50 million subscribers, he became a millionaire.
Exactly.
Playing
He's
video games and stuff.
right. No, and you know the funny thing, I heard that in ESPN now they're playing basketball video games, because since they haven't been playing basketball live, video games have been what's been taking the place. And this kid became a millionaire playing a tournament of, I can't remember what game exactly, but the world has changed and we are noticing it little by little.
Well, I mean, they've been doing it before the quarantine. Like they played this, they started putting on ESPN gaming, like Overwatch, that video game. I used
Oh,
to play it.
right.
Yeah, my younger sister, she
Uh-huh.
went with her boyfriend to go watch a tournament at Barclays.
Wow, at Barclays.
Yeah,
That's like a concert for video games.
really. Well, it's basically like going to watch the NBA Finals, except there's a bunch of average, probably not athletic dudes playing video games, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it is what it is. So
Because when you think about a sport, it's it's entertainment.
physical.
It's physical, right? But at the like for those watching, it's entertainment, and
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be same. The same could be said. You know, you watch basketball, you watch wrestling.
right.
Both athletic, even though wrestling, the shit is fake, but both athletic. And
Don't be killing people's dream out there, man.
No. Everybody is. It's a soap opera.
Yeah.
But you know, I grew up watching wrestling during the Attitude Era. You know, with The Rock, Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, man. Those are the days.
So like I respect it. I'm not saying that it's bad. I can't wrestle for shit.
Yeah. No, I have a friend that he wrestles in upstate New York, and it's dope to see him, man, do his thing. And his name is Vision X. El Visionario X, or the Visionary X, and it's dope to see that, man. Like he's a masked luchador or masked wrestler, and it's
Well, they both practice with, like the wrestlers practice with each other as a rehearsal. I mean, if there's a storyline,
yeah, no.
that's what I'm trying to. But he'll tell you.
Say it again.
He'll tell you.
Yeah, no. I seen some the way that you it's like building a portfolio pretty much, and
Yeah, actually, the wrestlers are the best actors.
yeah.
That's another influence.
Yeah, man. Again, like when we go back to it, it's all about entertainment, and but for those people, like imagine if you get asked today to become a wrestler, like at this point, like I wouldn't do it, because there's a lot of risk, you take when you do that. There's accidents, and it's a physical thing. But to get back into the topic about courage, you have to be very, courageous to jump off that rope, jump off that third rope, and just fly into the air and fall into someone.
I think to like pursue any passion that you're, what you want. I think it takes a degree of courage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not gonna say I'm the definition of courage and stuff like that. I'm the definition of a guy who got nothing to lose and why would I gotta be afraid of?
Mm.
So that's just me. It's like what?
Hey.
There's some courage there, but it's like I'm not gonna stand here and be Captain Virtuous and stuff like
Captain
that because I'm
Virtuous.
not a hero.
No.
I'm not a hero. I never really cared for superheroes growing up.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm just myself. And at the end of the day, if I make a little, what do I got to lose? Like I barely got shit. So
Well, you have yourself and you have your life, and that's something that we value every day.
I mean, it is what it is. But it's like I think the reason why people don't do that stuff because, like you said, that you need courage. They don't have the courage. They're too afraid of the consequences. Like, oh, if I let people know I'm a singer, I want to sing, I want to do music. They might say I suck. They may say, oh, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm wasting my time, which that's pretty much true. People will say that.
Right.
And it depends on if you really have the talent and the skill for it.
Right. But sometimes like I let me show you. Well, when I started drawing, my first drawing was with a potato, like a fridge magnet potato. And I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just going to trace. Like I will grab something, like let's say this quarter, put it over a paper and just like trace around it in order to create something. And I made my first human like that. And from there to here, it's taken a lot of hours. Like I don't know if you ever heard of this book called Outlier. Forgot who the author is, but and by the way, I do audiobooks. So anyone doing something and wants to read a book, just go to YouTube and type the book. They might have it in audio. And this pretty much tells you how like it's not talent or luck. It's pretty much just like learning and making a lot of mistakes, having enough time to make all the mistakes, so that later on they might make him seem like a genius. Like one of the stories shared in that book is the story of Bill Gates. Bill Gates, and how everything was sort of like problem solving. Things happened in his school, or there was a college that had a studio that he could use. Let me see. Oh, there we go. We're back. He there was a lot of things that kind of fell into place for him to be who he is. He had a lot of time to learn about something, and people make things happen for him, and he became who he is. But it wasn't just because he's a super genius that developed his brain. And I mean, it's probably part of that. When you have resilient to make a million mistakes and keep going back to it, that's a talent maybe on its own. Accepting.
Bill Gates had work ethic.
Yeah.
I kind of did that when I was in the program. Actually, like I would learn how to use the programs.
Mm-hmm.
Like on my day off, and then like after school, like I would stay in the studio lab from like, all right, my class is finished at 12 in the afternoon. So then I'll be there from 12 till about 8 o'clock at night on my day off, because at that time I was going to school and working. And I was like right there trying to learn the stuff, so I understand that.
Yeah, I know. And
so I was like in front of a keyboard, in front of a DAW. I was like, yo, this is what I need, but I can't have that in my house because like I have no space and stuff.
Right.
So that was the only place I could actually practice. And when I finished that program, I can't go back to the lab and use it when I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sucks. You wish you could, because having access to things like that, it's a blessing.
I mean, I never had access to stuff like that before, but Yeah, but listen, I don't know. For me, at this moment, I don't know. It's like I've always been good at writing.
Mm-hmm.
If if somebody's like, yo, there's a beat, write to it. I got you. Give me a week. I'll probably be done by day 3.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
that's
that's
a
just what it is.
that's so what how do you break down the writing process for because that's something I've always been interested in, like learning how to write music and just for to know because at this point I want to focus a lot of time drawing and this is what I'm going to be doing for a long time. But I feel like I write too, like I write stories for some of my
Yeah.
characters and in the
Real
future.
characters too, but I don't have the talent of drawing like you do.
Man, but you see, everybody has time to do their talent. So how do you break down writing music?
Um, I got a beat.
Hmm.
If it sounds good, if I could vibe with it. But sometimes I just write about what I feel. Like, the other track, like 1980s that I did.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Chop Cheese, that I never had a beat for that.
So how do you go about writing the hook, and how long does it have to be, or a verse, and then you put in the hook? Because I hear those things thrown, and I have no idea how do you develop that.
Um, like the standard, like I get a beat, and then I'm just thinking of what I could be.
Mm.
Like sometimes I write the song around the name of the beat.
Ah.
It was like my cousin, that beat that I did, that Rocket.
Uh-huh.
That was the name of his beat, so I was like, all right, so the name of the song was gonna be Rocket.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna, and it sounds like a police song, so let me just make
So
it.
you're giving it something, and you just make something with it. Like you could do that.
I mean, it depends on what the beat like dictates. Like if it's like a hard, sad beat, it's gonna be something sad, but I'm gonna think of what I wanna say. But then a lot of times I don't start writing until like if I get a set idea,
Mm.
and I kind of like scat to the beat. Like I be like, if there's a beat, it's like,
Hmm.
then I'll be like, that's what I want the words to like come out as,
Mm.
the flow and stuff. But I would write, and then after that I'll just write, and I'll just let it come to me. If I have something to say, I'll try to like fit it in. It's kind of like a puzzle.
Right.
Yeah, but I
Interesting.
want it to make sense. And there's been times where I've written like a couple of bars or like a verse, and then I look at it and I'm like, this does not work, and I erase it.
And you erase the whole thing. You
Yep.
don't. It's not that you take parts out and put back something in.
The second verse to Rocket it sounded completely different. Like I was like, no, I have something better for this, and I was almost done with that, and then I erased it, and
Wow.
then I just wrote the second verse to that, and that's my favorite part of that song.
The second verse.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, it gets.
but yeah.
Yeah, man. No, but that's very interesting. Because everything has its process. Sometimes, like there is a way. So there's this animator, a Japanese animator, that sometimes people would say that there's a formula of how to do something, but there's always somebody doing things differently. So the way he creates a story is that he draws he starts drawing things out before he even writes the story, and as he's drawing and creating something, the story comes to him. Some people say that they'll just write first, like write everything out and put everything out, and then they'll start drawing things. And it's very interesting, like how people develop their own methods to doing whatever they like. And so I don't know, like it's fascinating to me how like storyboarding and but like writers that make music, like it's like I don't know, Because I've tried to like make things rhyme and things like that, but it doesn't work.
I mean, the thing is that I'm not a freestyle dude. It's like I can't think of something on the spot, like, you know, all of these freestyle rappers and stuff. I wish my brain was sharp like that. I'm more of a lyricist. Because I gotta sit down, think about it, and make it fit. So that's what I...
So that's a whole different ball game, huh?
That's a whole different ball game. Yeah, I wish I was sharp like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was never sharp like that.
Man, well, there's always something. Can't be skilled at everything, right?
I wish I was. I'd probably be like rich or something. Nah, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, it's just how you feel about it. Like if you're passionate about it, and if you're willing to put in time and the effort, and go through all the frustrations. Because there's been times when I was recording, and like it wouldn't come out right, and then I'll end up like putting my fist on the table like mad hard and stuff.
Man.
This is like I get frustrated, and then I'm like, I could do this, but it's not coming out, man. This is frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's creation, you know.
Well,
like,
I know you probably like in your early days, you probably like, damn, and then you probably just threw the pencils on the floor and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's days that I'm just like, nothing's coming out right, and then I try. And one thing about digital work, that it has become easier to do things. But it also is very easy to just click one button and look, boom, everything's gone.
Well, as a person that does digital stuff too, like with videos and with Photoshop stuff and the mods and stuff, I've developed the habit to save as each time.
Yeah, no, and that's funny. Because I was working on a video game once. I was like learning how to create a app or a video game, and I don't know why my professors always said like, oh, save every 5 minutes, but I decided to just go, and I was so into it, develop this whole world, whatever, and 5 minutes in, I think it was in Unity that I was working, the whole thing crashed. And it just got erased, everything. And I was like, never again am I touching this program. And it's been like 4 or 5 years since I last touched it. Man.
You just gotta remember to save, because that has happened to me.
It was so frustrating. And then like I went back to it. So there was 2 projects I was working on. I was working on like a 2D platform game where people just walk from like Mario Bros. And yeah, I was working on something like that, like adding some of the actions and stuff, but that whole thing just like collapsed, and I'm like looking for, and I was following a tutorial on YouTube like step by step, and it was going and going. That thing crashed, everything got erased, everything was out of place. Then I was like, okay, one day I'll go back, but not now.
That has happened to me before, like in school or in my house when I was doing projects. Maybe I did a video project. Maybe I forgot to press record or something.
And forgetting to press record, that's a big one, huh? I heard that like 3 times today.
But it's stuff like that, and then you lose everything because, you know, computers. I don't like technology like that. But whatever.
But I'll say this. When that happens, you just practice something. And now the second time, it'll be better. The second time will come out better because you save. It'll be faster, because you already made some of the mistakes and you won't make them again.
The second time, if God willing, if the computer is still intact.
Right.
Yeah, but like I've developed the habit to like save as, if not, like save different files, you know, just different versions of the same thing.
Right.
So like. That's what it is, and I mean, to me, when I write, I use paper and pencil. Because I found that I don't want to type stuff.
Yeah, no, there's something natural to just flowing with the the paper, you know, and like I always keep my sketchbook. I have a sketchbook always next to me because sometimes I like to hear that sound of the like the sound of the paper going through the pencil on the paper.
It's more organic.
Yeah. But this is faster though, and it gives you a lot of space to work on.
And it's not like I never typed any like rhymes and stuff before, like, cause I have an iPod that I bought when I was iPod Touch when I was 21.
Oh wow.
And that's when I was running stuff on it. And I still have that stuff to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And
like I said, like all those things are tools.
I wrote it when I was 23, so I'm 30 now, so yeah, 7 years.
Hmm.
But I'd rather just do it on paper and pencil.
Yeah, I mean, but if one thing that I can say is like that, and it's one of the things that I live by is never stop learning for you. You know, and yeah, man, and that's something that I see that you're always on. You know, you're always learning something, and because I mean, every day is a learning. It's a learning. We get learning experiences from good or bad. We get good lessons from good or bad experiences.
Man, life it is. Life, I guess is what we can make lemonade out of lemons, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I'm not an expert in anything. I'm not an expert in life. When it comes down to life, I'm not the person.
You're not the person. You not it.
No, man, it's like life is just something. There's like, relationships. No, not.
Wow.
But
it is what it is.
Like writing. But dude, like I'm so like I'm weird about this shit because I like in my head I wrote like a 1950s love ballad when I was a teenager.
That you wrote a what?
A 1950s love ballad.
What is that? I don't know what it is.
Like a song, like a love song from the 50s that sounds like the 50s is the.
Oh wow.
I did that when I was a teenager at a border.
Oh wow.
I still remember it.
You want to go ahead and rehearse it? Hey Jonathan, welcome to the live. We're here talking courage. Here's that Double O Mind Blow live. We've been chopping it up for the past hour or so. You know, just talking about conquering fear, how to find courage, and how to, keep at it. You know.
I mean, I'm still learning about that too. So it's like I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to be virtuous and stuff like that.
Hey, give yourself some credit. That's what I always say. You know, you don't have to be a guru to give some wisdom. You know,
I don't care about wisdom. I just care about like the end result, and I guess that's a bad thing with me. Because it's like I don't want to be that old guy with the long beard who knows like wisdom, because usually with wisdom is wisdom comes from suffering.
From suffering?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true though.
Yeah, I don't have my suffering before in my life and stuff.
But they say like the mere fact that you're alive, you're suffering, because every day you get closer to death, and that's a suffering for some people.
Yeah, that don't scare me, man. I already been at death's door before and like that. I'm not afraid of that. So, but it is what it is. I think everything is a risk. If you wake up in the morning, get out of bed, that's a risk, because you don't know if you walk outside and then what happens. If something falls on you, boom, you're dead.
Right.
So down the street, boom, the car takes you back. When you wake up, you're in your bed, you go to sleep. God forbid the ceiling comes down on you, boom.
Oh, you die in your sleep? That's without any fight or any way of avoiding it, you know?
That's a luxury, actually.
That's a luxury? I'd rather die fighting.
I mean, the thing is that when people die fighting, usually, like, when it comes down to disease, they're like in agony.
That's true.
And usually people like if it's not a matter of like if you're gonna die as a man, but like when you die, you want it to be peaceful and painless. That's a luxury. Not everybody dies peacefully or without pain.
That's true. You're right.
Like, and I know this. I've been around hospitals a lot in my life, like assisted living facilities, and I've seen it as a kid, and I'm like, wow. So that's a luxury in itself. You'd be lucky, like if you go to sleep and you go peacefully. Like if you're fighting for your life, like like there's a disaster, natural disaster, or like somebody's attacking you, that's then you could die fighting.
Right. But I mean, like, you know, you don't have a chance to stay alive if you die sleeping. You know, like you don't have. I mean, whenever it comes, right? But I'd say like if you can fight for it, it's
Depends on your survival instincts.
right, or like your will to live, you know.
I mean, it is what it is with people.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you making, the king?
Yeah, I'm making the king of hip hop.
Like that could be literally any rapper that claim to.
Who do you call the king of hip hop?
Nobody.
Huh?
Nobody.
So who do you claim to be the best?
I have the best, the people that are the best, but I wouldn't call them kings.
Gotcha.
This is like, it's not because their skill and stuff like that. It's because it's like I don't believe in there being an actual definitive king, one ruler above all.
One ruler above all.
Yeah, like in like the same goes for any type of music, whether it's like rock and roll, and they say, "Oh, this is the king of rock and roll." Like, oh, and like,
Who was that? Elvis?
Yeah, Elvis was the king, but like Elvis didn't invent rock and roll.
Right.
But so like they say, oh, Biggie was the king. Well, some people say Tupac was king. Some people say like Jay-Z's king.
Right.
I seen photos with Kendrick Lamar in a photo shoot. He's wearing a crown. Like, oh, that's the king of hip hop.
Right. He said he was the king of New York. Kendrick.
Like, I remember that the controllers.
Yeah.
I remember that everybody got pissed off. I was like, yo, this is just what it is, yo.
That's the way to do it, though. He came in and he claimed it, you know, since no one was claiming it.
That's the whole point of it, was just to be outlandish and just try to see, like, get a reaction and shit. It's all in good fun. It's not, like, meant to be serious and shit.
Right.
I remember that, too. I was like, yo, you guys are just taking it too freaking seriously. Just chill out. And if anything, if he was to be dubbed king, I'd rather him, I'd rather him be king than fucking 6ix9ine Tekashi 6ix9ine, whatever.
Man, he's coming out soon, I heard, or he came out. One of the two.
He's gonna be a Christian rapper.
He's gonna be a Christian.
He's gonna be a Christian rapper.
You know, one thing to say about him, though, is his energy, though. Like, I've seen a couple of interviews. I've heard his music here and there. Not really, like, a fan. But his energy is incredible, man.
No, I don't hate the dude. I mean, he got his money. That's the dream. When I was his age, I wanted that money. I respect the money, but the thing is that he bought his way into the life, and that's a life that nobody wants to stay in forever. He bought his way into being a gangster.
Into being a
gangster.
Right.
He brought his way into the blood. It's like, if you're a real gangster, you're trying to get the fuck out. You're not trying to get in. You know what I mean? So he just did that just to get clout. And then when the blues came, he's like, all right, you gotta put in work. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it gets complicated. It gets complicated when things become real, huh?
I mean, people ruined it.
Say what?
People ruined it.
Right, I heard many times. He was like, "Oh, you should just tone it down or something."
they told him to get rid of the girls that he's hanging out with.
Right.
Like, he wasn't about that shit before, but then, like, now he had money, now he's clout chasing, now he's about it. And that's how they're gonna put him to the test. They're like, all right, you about it? Drop up. What do you mean? Why are you about it?
Yeah, no, but
That's the thing.
so you think he's gonna go back to making music when he gets out?
Of course. He's gonna make Christian music, bro. He's gonna make Christian music. I'm telling you, he's gonna turn Christian. He's gonna do Christian music, and he's gonna be like, God saved me from getting my ass beat.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, God saved. He's gonna be like, God saved me from, from my treacherous life. He's gonna make Christian music. I'm telling you, bro. Telling you.
Well, let's hope for the best. Like, let's hope everything goes well for him. And
he put himself in that situation, man. So, I mean, it is what it is. You put yourself in that situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I never hated that guy. Like, you make your money. If you were able to make your money, you were able to be a smart businessman in some aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. I respect the cash flow. Like, that's what I can't be mad at. That. Remember the Cash Me Outside girl?
The what?
Cash Me Outside.
Oh, yeah.
I can't be mad at her.
Right.
She ran with it. They made it into a meme. She took the ball. She ran with it, and she made a career out of it. And she getting movies. I can't be mad at her.
Right. No, she made something out of nothing. Out of being ridiculed, she made it into doing something.
She extended her 15 minutes.
Monetize it. She monetized her fame.
No, you know what? Like, and I grew up with girls like that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to school with girls like that, and like none of them got millions. They all have like children, and like 5 kids from like 6 different.
I mean, respect.
They can't. It's not the last one.
Respect to them, like it's life happens, and to people get into situations sometimes out of their control. But it is what it is, man. Like,
man, I just what? Tekashi comes out. I'm telling you, he's gonna do Christian rap because he can't be on that gangster shit. He can't.
Let's see.
He's already labeled a snitch.
Let's see what happens. I mean, he's probably just gonna have fun or whatever. It's life has this funny way of doing things, man. Like, he probably learned something, and he's gonna talk about something else.
I mean, the funny thing about him is that back then he was like, yo, in my city, in New York, nobody touched me. Nobody could touch me. And I'm like, yo, as soon as you said that, you got the green light for somebody to touch you, because everybody gets touched. Everybody takes a beating or gives a beating a few times in their life. That's just what life is. If you were fortunate enough to go through this life without getting touched.
No, and if you're asking for things, like, you get what you ask for.
I mean, he said, he's like, nobody in my city touched me. What happens? Like, a month later, he gets knocked out. He's in the hospital.
Well, that's why I say you got to be careful what you ask for, because if you say no one could touch me, you're asking for, you're daring. You're daring people to do that.
You got the green light on you.
Exactly.
But it's what it is. It's like I said, I'm not mad making money.
Yeah, man. But again, remember, life is not always about the money. Money becomes a tool at the end of the day, because, like we see now, everyone that has all that money and what's going on right now, no one can use it. Most stores are closed. So when we think about possessions and material stuff, we might have a lot of money, but if you don't have nothing to do with the money, then it's like you have nothing. And putting value into certain things. I understand that we all need money, but it's funny. Say what?
Money is means to an end, though.
Exactly. Not to say that money is evil. Like, I grew up hearing.
But it's a necessary evil.
No, but I grew up hearing like money is the root of all evil and things like that. But
It
I'm
is.
like, it's all how you use it. Cause without money, you can't buy a house, so you can't
Yeah,
blame. Say that again.
that's what I said. That's what I've told people too. But like the main motivator to a lot of the bad stuff that's happening in the world is because of money.
Or
Well,
greed.
well, well, greed is part. Money and greed go hand in hand.
But you can buy,
So,
you can pay for let's see, you can pay for a surgery and save someone's life with money too.
yeah, but that's to me is like when you have to like you break your own bank to save somebody's life, to save your own life. I think that's kind of not evil because you have to do it. It's evil that the fact that you need money just to stay alive like that. Like with a lot of times with people who go through like cancer and stuff like that, they're broke because chemotherapy and treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that breaks the bank. There's like hundreds of thousands and sometimes a million. A lot of
Right.
insurances don't cover that, so then you die suffering, or you just, you know what I mean? And
Or
chemotherapy is
or
basically
or you beat cancer.
horrible itself.
There's always two options, right?
I don't, I've, I don't really know anybody that actually has beaten cancer.
I mean, you might see like if you Google
My
people.
father maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't. But my father, he had surgery,
Well,
so they caught it in time, so he didn't have to go through that.
well, you see, and then so it's all about how you use things, and then that's. I mean, I like to see the positive in everything. Like it's hard for me to be mad at something or negative about anything.
I would
So
like, this is a pipe dream, but you ever seen this movie Elysium?
yeah, yeah,
Like they have the space station up there, and then they have this medical machine that cures everything, right?
right.
And then like the little girl, she's dying of leukemia, and they gotta put her to the machine, and she'll be cured instantly. I wish there was a machine like that.
Hey, you gotta make it.
I'm not a scientist. I can't make that. I'm not an
Well,
engineer.
you weren't
I'm
a
not a
video
robot.
game creator and you made mods. So that's one thing that I do
There's a
think
big
about.
difference between engineering, making a mod for video game, and medical technology. That's quite a comparison, bro.
Well, in my opinion, you can do anything you can think of. Anything you can think of, you can do.
I'm gonna have to go back to school, and I always hated school, and I'm gonna have to do
What?
all that
So
stuff.
when you think about a machine, what does it take to make a machine?
It takes knowledge in engineering, knowledge in basic computing,
And so,
STEM degree, STEM,
I mean,
science,
but
technology, engineering, and mathematics. It takes all of that to make a machine.
and you can Google it. So that's the thing. So the life is gonna be
I
ending
can't
in like.
do that.
Well, I'm not saying that you have to right
When I'm
now.
gonna get when I'm gonna get the
The
material.
life is ending in 7 seconds. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate coming in, and we
Thank
can
you.
speak about that later on. Peace.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. So thank you to everyone who joined the live. Thank you for those who came in to Instagram, those who came in on Facebook. I mean on YouTube. I appreciate. Again, I don't encourage people enough to like, subscribe, and share, but do all that stuff that you can do in order to promote one another. Drawing and talking with Artclstudios. It's been a pleasure tonight. We spoke about courage. We spoke about different situations and how to get things done, how to go from point A to B, and that is how to beat your fears. And so at the end, I wanted to talk to him a little bit about how do you become something when you have no skills in it, and that's something that as time develops, I want to do challenges for myself to, maybe one day I want to become, I want to learn how to code or make a video game. And those are things that in the future I want to get into. So as I always say, never stop learning for you, and that's the motto I live by. That's what I intend to do with these drawing and talking, just, sharing a little bit of how people have passions and the passion sometimes bigger than the fear, and they will conquer and achieve that passion. So once again, I appreciate you joining in. This has been a pleasure. Until next time, see you later. Peace.